So for those of you that are wondering about the environment, when I first started growing, the environment was much harder to control. Being in Colorado, adding the humidity, then exhausting because the hot HPS lights, and then all your humidity would go, and then you'd like lung room it or not, and you didn't have the controller system like we do nowadays. And so it was a mixture of timers and a lot of manual checking. Either way, no matter how you do it, you can definitely do it on timers and manual and all that, and your house may have great climate control. We're still going to follow these numbers on here. So I went over the PPFD. We're right in the target range. The temperatures. So leaf surface temperature is really the way to go. And I should probably go grab my gun, but I mean, it's probably only like 80 degrees in here when it's all zipped up, which means the leaf surface is probably 75. And so as far as humidity goes, I probably only need to be in that like 60% range, and that puts me at about 1.2 VPD. I've got it set at 1.2. That way I'm not guessing, because it fluctuates a little bit, and you can actually use the VPD the leaf temperature offset to target that. So even though, let's say it's 80 degrees in here, if I measure the leaf and it's 72, I can go put a -8 offset in there, and then when I chase VPD, it'll keep the humidity a little lower because it's not quite as hot as you think it is, and that targets it a little bit better. You don't have to overthink it, honestly. If you're in the range, it's fine. And as we go deeper into flower, I need to get below 50%. I don't want bud rot, mold. In my opinion, the 50% doesn't have to come till they're stacking pretty heavily and getting thicker, but I like to stair step them down slowly so it's not an abrupt change, and I want to increase the airflow. I'm probably going to put another clip fan on the sides and get airflow underneath, as it's just a big tent. I've got one big fan in the corner at a 45-degree angle spinning the air that's in here, helping bring CO2 around. I've got an oscillator up at the top, and it's moving the leaves just a little bit, but I've got an old AC Infinity that was not an oscillator because the Gen 1s would just break and click. And so before the Gen 2s came out, I would use the non-movers, and that one's just blowing on the light, removing the heat off of the heat sink there, off the top of the LEDs. So that pretty much covers the environment. Learn what VPD is, right? How to target it on your controller. Otherwise, essentially, like 80 degrees, 65% humidity is perfect. We want to slowly lower the humidity and get closer to 50% as we get deeper in flower, because we move away from VPD, and the weakest link becomes mold, and we don't want bud rot. And it's so disheartening when someone harvests and they check their dry room and they find bud rot. Maybe they're just learning about it, but it can absolutely be avoided. You should never have it, especially indoors when you have control, okay?